So, wait, hold on. So,
You done staring?
apparently, someone thinks Kai Cenat is dangerous. You know what I'm saying? So, that's something I wanted to react to. So we're gonna check it out. This is by QuietKills. Huh. Never heard of the channel. First time watching it. Watching one of their videos, but yeah, let's go ahead and check it out and find out why Kai Cenat is dangerous.
There's a toxic culture pervasive throughout the black community here in America that I'd like to talk about.
I know about
it's a
that.
topic many are afraid to speak on, especially fellow members of the black community,
I mean,
because
I've
of
already
the
have.
potential social backlash and disownment they may face for speaking out. And that already leads me into my first point, which is a forced...
I have spoken on it. There's a reaction video I've done. Some of you that are watching this may have already seen it. It's called "Embarrassed to Be Black." It's a reaction to someone else's shit, but like I kind of got into it and just kind of, you know, added a lot more into it than than I normally would with a reaction video. But this one, I don't know if I'm gonna do the same thing. That took a lot of editing, but that was fun to do. But anyway, I do understand what he's talking about from the jump. So let's see.
sheep mentality that a lot of black folks force onto each other. The quickness to and disownment they may face for speaking out. And that already leads me into my first point, which is a forced sheep mentality that a lot of black folks force onto each other. The quickness to disown a fellow member of their own community for simply not sharing the same opinions or ideals.
That's not just a black community, that's a lot of other communities. Like, for example, the Japanese community. I mean, it may be more with like looks or something like, or as well. Because like, if you look different in Japan, then it's like, hey, no, if you're Japanese and you look different in Japan, because otherwise you're just a foreigner. But if you're Japanese and you look different in Japan, that's kind of like, you know, people don't really want to stand out. They also, of course, like he said, they want to have the same ideals and same values and virtues as other members of their culture. So it's not only the black community that goes through that, from what I've noticed.
It's more cult-like than it is community. Being black isn't a way of thought. It's a skin color. If a black man works for the police department or votes for Republican candidates, he's still black. And I think to suggest otherwise is incredibly racist in itself, because you're implying that all black people are one-dimensional and should be herd like sheep, which is not something you see expected from white people. We see this a lot from the left. You know, liberals love to guilt trip and attack black people and other minorities whenever they reveal themselves to be independent thinkers because they feel entitled to their support. They treat minorities as if...
I wonder how long it took them to write this script. It takes me some time, and especially like with I don't know, when it comes to recording it, like if I have a script, it might take a while too, because I've been messing up a lot.
They're below them and that they should do the thinking for them and just have them follow along. So when they don't follow along, they feel a sense of betrayal from the minority they feel entitled to. People need to stop tying personality traits, ways of thought, vernacular, and actions to something that is a social construct, which is what race is. We are humans. We are not all one-dimensional, nor should we be expected to be. If a black person wants to watch hockey instead of basketball or football, that doesn't mean they're any less black. It simply means they have an interest that may not be a common interest throughout their community.
Bro, it took people to start. It took black people accepting anime. It took that shit a while for like the mainstream to even start picking up, and for other black members, other black people to start, you know, accepting that if you are black and you like anime, then that's okay. Shit, but hockey, bro, it's too cold in there. That's all. That's the reason I'm not. You know what I'm saying?
Patient ones will fall right into our lap.
Quickness to disown each other is an incredibly toxic trait I see quite often within the black community. It isn't healthy. It's not healthy to feel like your own community has their foot on your back, ready to kick you out the door if you do or say anything that isn't in line with what everyone else is doing or saying. And what I feel the black community in America is severely lacking right now is a strong voice for its people, a figure not swayed by politics, clout, or money, a powerful and unbiased voice, and not anything like Black Lives Matter, which was entirely motivated by greed and did nothing but spread misinformation and violence and divide the people rather than unite them to any degree. And it didn't just divide black folks and other races, but it majorly divided the black community itself as well. And not like black celebrities who claim to support their communities, yet will throw all their money at a $500,000 chain before divide in Black Lives Clout or money, a powerful and unbiased voice. And not anything like Black Lives Matter, which was entirely motivated by greed and did nothing but spread misinformation and violence and divide the people rather than unite them to any degree. And it didn't just divide black folks and other races, but it majorly divided the black community itself as well. And not like black celebrities who claim to support their communities, yet will throw all their money at a $500,000 chain before directing it towards the communities they claim to represent.
Okay, I hope you give some examples of how it divided the community itself. I'm curious about that.
The same rappers and such who profit
Like in what ways do you think it divided the community?
largely off promoting black on black violence, drug usage, drug dealing, gangs, and helping spread all sorts of other negative influences onto their own communities before investing in them and actually providing for them. And definitely not the people who merely pretend to be a positive influence, like Meek Mill, for example, who loves to preach positivity and reform to his community, then will turn around and make songs about killing people within his own community.
Damn. Okay, in my opinion, I don't really listen to Meek Mill at all, but I do agree with what he's saying. Like, you shouldn't be one way off camera, or you can't be one. You shouldn't be one way in the booth and the exact opposite outside the booth. You feel me? But I did recently listen to a kind of, I want to call it a documentary, but I guess it was kind of like a documentary about Future, and even he says that, you know, the stuff that he raps about, he doesn't really, you know, do. Like all the drug use that he raps about in his songs. Like, even those people say that his drug use makes them, or his songs make them feel like they're on drugs or whatever. But he's not even really like on it that much like that. At least he said it in one of the interviews. But so I guess what he's saying could also apply to Future. Like, he does talk about a lot about it, but if he's not really constantly using it like he says he is in his songs, then in my opinion, you shouldn't really be talking about it, because you are influencing the younger generation to do the same thing. I mean, wasn't there another rapper? I think it was like Little Peep or something. No, I don't remember who it was, but I remember hearing that they said that they started using lean because of, you know, Future's influence. And apparently when he heard that, he was like, damn.
We were talking about how you were in 6th grade when Future dropped Dirty Sprite. And Future, you said listening to that, you said you talked to Future. What did you tell him?
I said, bro, that shit got me wanting to sip lean in like 6th grade.
But what I was trying to get to was that Future said, you know, Future said that he makes those kind of songs because honestly, that's what gets the money, because that's what people want to hear right now. But whose fault is that? Well, I mean, it's still kind of their fault for mainly pushing that type of music in the first place. I mean, I know it also gets them the money and they're trying to get back and get out of the hood. I feel that, you know what I'm saying? But there's other ways to do it, and at least especially nowadays. So, and even you can use that at first to just, you know, make your voice louder, get a record deal, make your voice louder, and then you can also switch up. But if you're like with, depending on what record label you're with, they're probably gonna try to, you know, control your music. Like, I heard Atlantic Records is like a bad label to go with, so it's best for people to stay independent and shit instead. But I think that's what Meek Mills does as well. You know, even though he'll still preach positivity and, you know, for the black community, in his songs he talks about people killing people in his own hood, because that's what's selling right now. That's what will get him money. That's what will, that's what people want to hear. And it's an unfortunate thing for us as a black community to be in, because we need to do better. You know what I'm saying? We need to do better. We need to, if we stay in this cycle of violence and drug abuse and jail and no fathers in the home because they're too busy getting arrested or just not being around. Thankfully, I'm glad both my parents were military, and both my parents were in my life, and I was well disciplined, and so I'm grateful for my upbringing. But if we don't find a way to end this cycle somehow, then our community probably isn't gonna grow. Our community is not gonna consciously grow. We're not gonna get better. We're not gonna do better. We're not gonna become a better people. But anyway, I digress.
And certainly not the elites behind the scenes either, who profit the most off of the death of black people. A rapper dies, the album sales skyrocket. A rapper is allegedly responsible for killing another black man and really lives what he raps. Those numbers go up. They love it. They love watching
drill music.
Black folks kill each other because it means more money in their pockets. As far as they're concerned, the less black people get along with each other, the more money they can make off them. And
that's also, of course, the people who are actually in charge of those record labels, like Atlantic Records, the white people, the corporate white people that are in charge of those record labels. Like I've already shown y'all in that same video I mentioned earlier, my reaction to Embarrassed to Be Black. I already showed y'all how Crazy Bone read a letter that was in an article about a secret meeting to shift the movement of the of rap, of black music. And it's because those record labels, the corporate white people in the record labels, and ended up getting and making deals with prisons. And so the more people, I forgot the word I was looking for, but the more people that are in prison, the more full the prisons are, the more money they make. So they're telling black people, rappers, they incentivize them to make music about drugs and killing, because crime will get them in prison. If they get in prison, then the white people get more money. That's what he's talking about right now.
People feed right into it. The same people who claim they wish to see the conditions within the black community improve are also the same people with Spotify playlists full of songs about black folks killing each other, repping different gangs, circulating drugs within their own communities.
Hey. I listened to Mac Miller, Lupe Fiasco, Kendrick Lamar. I'm not gonna lie, I did listen to some Ludacris, but Ludacris isn't really killing each other and shit like that. I listened to his Growing Pains song earlier today. You know what I'm saying? We was trying so hard. Anyway, that song, you know what I'm saying? And I don't listen to, I don't really listen to like drill music, unless it's SpongeBob drill music. That shit kind of go hard, I'm not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, and there's some SpongeBob drill music. You should go check out Glorb, GLORB on YouTube or on Spotify. He's got some SpongeBob drill music. That shit kind of cool. But yeah, anyway.
Etc. It's the same energy as those who claim they want equality for blacks, yet want segregated dormitories, graduation ceremonies, and spaces. That doesn't sound like equality to me. That sounds like racial segregation. It sounds like the exact opposite of uniting us. But black folks aren't the issue here, though. It's not a matter of skin color. It's a matter of the toxic and destructive culture we find pervasive within the African American community. A culture of violence, entitlement, and many other negative traits I'll elaborate on later.
I mean, it doesn't help when in that same culture, if you talk properly to some of your black friends, they'll call you white. They say people will say you talk white. It's an experience I had to deal with.
Some of the most racist folks you'll find out here towards African Americans, Africans. I've heard some African folks say some of the most wild shit I've heard with my own 2 ears about African Americans, Jamaicans as well. Even old school African Americans who will snap on you quick to pull your pants up and fix your hat. Why? Because it isn't a race thing. It's not about skin color, it's about culture. Our skin color is not what unites us, it's our cultures. So when I refer to black people in this video, I'm not referring to all black people. I'm referring to the black people who are mentally enslaved to the modern, degenerate, and toxic African American culture.
I like how you put that. Well done. Well done.
Which does not apply to all black people. Over time, the culture within the African American community has degraded. Respect for elders is hardly existent. Modesty isn't cherished whatsoever, especially when some of the most famous and influential black women out here are shaking their asses in music videos and rapping about sucking dick for Birkin bags.
Oh shit. Man, part's true. But not to mention, there's that one little kid. I forgot what his name is. But he's like fucking 9 years old, 8 years. I don't know. Can't read. And he's going around. He's got members of his family that are making songs for him to write about killing people and fucking women, and just being an overall degenerate. The kid can't even read. I think he's younger than 9, to be honest. I can't remember what his name was, but that is ridiculous. Like, and of course his influence on other kids his age is just as strong, if not stronger than pop famous rappers right now. And that kid is like, gaining I don't want to say he's gaining traction, but he's starting to be known, at least a little bit. And so I'm hoping it I don't know, man, something needs to change with that, because that's not the way to go with that.
This 9-year-old boy is rapping about murdering people, drugs, and sexual assault, even though he is clearly being influenced, controlled, and manipulated for money. It breaks my heart every time I see a kid who grew up too fast because of their environment. Lil RT has been stripped of his childhood and his innocence.
Bro, see real life, so he a fast young man. Exactly, yeah. But now I got him under my wings, so I'ma have him doing the right things. You feel me? But I can't stop something that he used to. You see what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I try to tell little bro, I try to help little bro as much as I can, but I'm not his father. He go back to his mama and his uncles at the end of the day. So whatever he do at home, that's what he's gonna continue to doing. So I can't stop it.
When he is not at home playing video games, he is out there rapping about street life and violence, while the adults around him allow it to happen. In their minds, this is just pure entertainment. But there is a reason why violent movies are R-rated and why children shouldn't be exposed to that kind of stuff. There is a reason an adult is there to guide the child, educate them, and set them on the right track.
You don't hear Taylor Swift out here talking about popping pussy for red bottoms or hiding a Glock for her man. Wanna know why? She doesn't need to, because the expectations for decency are set higher for white people, Asians, etc. Because the social backlash for their degenerate behaviors is far more harsh, because if you attack them for acting a certain way, you won't get called racist for it. Not like you would for critiquing a black person in the same fashion. And I'm sick of these libs using black people as instruments to push their own separatist and racially divisive agendas under the guise of progressiveness. I'm sick of seeing these white saviors on these platforms like Ethan Klein and Hassan acting like they speak for or represent a community they're completely out of touch with, pretending to know what's best for them, when really they just use minorities as stepping stones. It's manipulative and predatory. People with lots of influence, such as content creators, figureheads in the media, and elites, know that if they reinforce the victim complex of the black community, it's easier to manipulate and control them. They're like the politician that shows up to people's doorsteps in the hood to convince them that if they vote for them, they'll help out their community. When really they're just manipulating them for extra support to ultimately give nothing back and do nothing of any significance for those communities.
But they gain a lot of money doing it, and that's the focus on that. But what I also wanted to say before he moves forward, before he gets too far from where I was, anyway, what I also wanted to say that some of these like game developers, like Black Girl Gaming or whatever, not game developers, but like they're in the gaming, they worm their way in the gaming industry to like try to force inclusion and try to change things, like the woke people that are trying to force things in our games and try to change things in our games, or else they'll try to get that gaming company canceled. Like some of them have gone on record, pretty much saying things like it's okay to be racist to white people, or that you can't be racist to white people. It's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What? Racism itself is hatred towards another race, no matter what the reason. And sorry to break it to you, but like, white people are a collective race as well. So you can be racist towards white people. You shouldn't. It's like, nobody should, just like they shouldn't be racist to black people, we shouldn't be racist to them. We shouldn't be racist towards anyone. Like, but it's gonna take centuries or so before racism actually dies down.
A lot of people who say black people can't be racist are typically just incredibly hateful people who make everything about race and use mental gymnastics to justify their racism and hateful behavior.
Almost what I said.
That statement, by definition, is not true. Anybody can be racist, and if you think otherwise, you're just ignorant. A lot of people like to say that black people can't be racist, they can only be prejudiced. But when you actually look at the definition of racism, it says right here, prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism by an individual, community, or institution against a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized. So to say that black people can't be racist but only prejudice doesn't make any sense, because being prejudiced towards somebody because of their race is being racist, as you can see in the definition of racism. Well, so if a black person says, I wasn't racist to this white guy, I was just prejudiced towards him, yeah, that's a form of racism by definition. And what a lot of people like to do is say, oh, but it says it needs to be one that is a minority or marginalized. That doesn't make sense either, because here it says typically. Typically does not mean all the time, it means typically. So that argument doesn't make any sense whatsoever. A lot of people say that to be racist, you need some...
I'm doing good. I'm just trying to, like, you know, feeling a vibe about this video. Apparently Kai Cenat is dangerous, you know, and I want to see why, but right now what he's been talking about so far, I agree with, even though he hasn't gotten to speaking about Kai Cenat. Yo, I think you're a bot. I don't want to buy any graphics. I don't want to buy any bots. I don't want to buy any followers. Just stop.
Systematic or systemic power over other. No, you don't. Okay, that the word systemic or systematic is nowhere in either of these definitions here. Where people got this new made up definition of racism from, but it is not the definition of racism. Anybody can be racist, and that's all there is to it. As a mixed race person, I get hate from all races, not just one. And in my lifetime, I've experienced more racism from black people than I have from any other race. By a landslide. I moved around.
All right, yeah, you gotta go. Sorry, Maria, banned.
Around a lot, and even lived in a town where Confederate flags were hanging around, and still experienced far less racism there than where I currently live, where the population is majority black.
Bro, I know that feeling. Well, no, I don't know that feeling. I know I've been through racism, but not mostly from other black people. Feel me? Like, I've been through it from, like, the racism I experienced was mostly from white people, and not from black people. But I understand what he's saying.
Asian people get treated like shit here, white people get treated like shit here, and so on. Many biracial people I know personally and have spoken with have shared,
maybe it's because I'm not biracial,
this exact same sentiment. I worked at a restaurant where our waiters and waitresses would refuse to seat white tables. You're gonna tell me that's not racist behavior? Your constant excusing and justification for this bullshit is why we are here in the first place. It's why it festers and grows to the degree at which it does. It is a complete lack of accountability, and whether you want to classify it as racism or not, it's all wrong just the same. It doesn't matter the word you use to describe it. Mistreating somebody because they're white or because they're Asian is equally as bad as mistreating somebody because they're black. And if you think otherwise, newsflash, you're racist. The Kai Cenat situation recently perfectly sums up my issue with modern African American culture.
Wait, what? You said recently? Oh, this is 9 months ago. I don't know what situation he's talking about. I don't really keep up with streamers too much. I check in every now and then, but I'm not like, you know, constantly seeing what they're doing every day. So I'm not sure what situation he's talking about.
In regards to lack of accountability, Kai Cenat is a massive streamer, I think the biggest streamer at the moment, and he announced that he'd be giving away gaming consoles and other various expensive.
He's at least the biggest black streamer. Oh, is he talking about the I think he's gonna talk about the live. Kai Cenat was playing a live giveaway in New York, right? And what ended up happening was a riot ensued. Like it was. I don't think he even got. It was around the time he got there, or shortly after he got there. Like a riot ensued. People were just like destroying public property. Even like vendors that were trying to just like sell stuff and make a buck. They destroyed the street vendors' stores and shit like that. And I think Kai even got arrested for a hot second. Yeah, I think that's what he's getting ready to talk about.
Items at Union Square in New York City.
Okay.
He didn't actually plan anything out or organize anything at all. Basically just announced for his whole audience to meet him at Union Square for a giveaway. Now,
Yeah,
as the common sense individual I'd hope you are, whoever's watching this right now, what do you think would happen? What do you think would happen if one of the biggest streamers announced to their massive audience of young fans to all gather up in one spot in New York City to collect a bunch of free and expensive shit with no actual organization or proper planning in place? Does that sound like it would go well? Like from a common sense standpoint, does that actually sound like that would unfold peacefully? From what I understand, Kai Cenat and I are only a year apart. Dude.
Even he's smarter than that.
There is no goddamn way you're that fucking stupid at 21. You are a grown.
Okay. You gotta admit, he is right. Like when he puts it into perspective like that, you really that was kind of dumb. You can't just announce, "Hey, everybody, meet me here. I'm gonna give away a bunch of expensive stuff." Like, come on, bro. A bunch of unrowdy people gonna like, come on, man. Especially with his fan base. You feel me? It's not like it's not like he would have the fan base of someone like him, like the guy we're watching, or the fan base of someone like Soul Illuminati. Like Kai does Kai does entertainment on his streams, right? Just focused on entertainment, acting out, doing shit, right? So, the fan base that you created, yeah, they're not gonna be ones that will orderly stand around and wait to be, given free stuff. Like, I think he realized that after the fact. Obviously, I hope he realized it after the fact that it was a dumb thing to do. But like, I think he had good intentions going into it. But at the same time, you gotta admit, when it was put into perspective, that was pretty dumb. That was pretty dumb. You know what I'm saying?
Ass man, there is no way you didn't see this shit coming. Are you actually that unable to see 2 steps ahead of yourself? You thought just gathering thousands of people to come collect free expensive ass shit in the middle of New York City with zero organization behind it would end well? How did you expect it to be organized if you didn't organize it? But this is the dude whose entire career is based on screaming at a camera and flirting with e-thoughts, so I expect nothing less than the sheer stupidity that was on full display.
Yeah, that's also part of his content. So, yeah, again, with the community he's built off of that kind of thing. Yeah.
But I also find it funny that as soon as shit really got popping, he took off. But all the innocent people whose shit got destroyed and looted and broken into didn't have that same luxury. They had to sit there and deal with the consequences of your negligence, your complete lack of ability to control your audience that you gathered there, your complete lack of ability to properly organize a massive meeting with your massive influence. Grown ass man, bro. But then you have shit like this where you got famous black celebrities with a lot of influence like Offset coming out and saying, how you gonna lock Kai up for giving back to his fans? New York be tripping. And then you have tons of other celebrities and figureheads who have a lot of influence on the black community, especially the youth, saying the same shit. You have all these people with massive influence who should be holding him accountable, basically just excusing him. Oh, he was just trying to do a good thing. Oh, he was just trying to give back to his community. Look, I get that was his intention, but look at the result. In the real world, where people hold each other accountable, we don't look at intentions, we look at results. If your chiropractor's intention was to realign your spine but ends up snapping your vertebrae and paralyzing you, it doesn't really matter that their intention was to help you now, does it? No. Because due to their negligence, the result was terrible. It's not a drunk driver's intention to crash into another vehicle and kill an entire family. But due to their negligence, the result was terrible. Defending or excusing his blatant negligence with, oh, well, it wasn't his intention, he just wanted to give back, is the most juvenile and brain dead line of thought I've ever seen. It's not about the intention, it's about the outcome. This dude is too influential to be this negligent. It's dangerous, obviously. How many thousands of dollars of other people's property do you think was lost in the aftermath? Over what, 70 arrests were made?
Now that I think about it, did Kai even pay for anybody's stuff that got damaged?
Businesses looted, people beaten, assaulted, cars destroyed, etc. It doesn't matter what your intention was when the outcome was chaos, vandalization, and destruction. And a lot of people are saying that he's not responsible for the crimes they committed. Bro, he's the reason they're there in the first place. He's the catalyst of the entire thing. What do you mean he's not responsible? Y'all gotta get off TikTok and start using your brains. And then you got Hassan, Mr. White Savior, master of brain dead takes, with this reaction to the whole.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a Hassan fan, but so that's probably why I like how he comes at Hassan, how he calls him all these. So it's funny to me, but at the same time, you know, he could also just be more respectful, and just say, well, then we have Hassan. He didn't have to go with all the names, but I'm not gonna lie, just a little entertaining to me. At the same time, like, just come on, bro.
Then you got Hassan, Mr. White Savior, master of brain dead takes, with this reaction to the whole thing.
His whole kiosk was ransacked, all the chips were broken and pulled apart, things were taken off of it, and he was saying that he was injured because he was trying to stop the kids and they hit his head, his neck, his back. The gentleman is in his 60s, and you know, he was talking to EMTs that were there and talking to the police that were there, giving them a report of what happened, but you know, a totally just innocent victim in all this, that he was just doing his job, going about his day, and his business got ransacked there.
Honestly, I'm surprised Hassan didn't get up and go to the bathroom during this part, or during any, well, I'm sure he did it during this sometime in his live stream, during sometime in this reaction. But I'm surprised he's not, you know, we're not seeing a live stream of his chair. So I'll give him credit for that.
But from where we are here, you know,
I fucking despise local media, dude. There you go. There is no better representation of how dog water local media is, and how much they exacerbate like narratives that you see on Fox News. What role they play in the boomer reactionary pipeline. Local media talking about $3 worth of Doritos, like, you know, there was a bank run or some shit.
Bro, that's not about
like,
the $3 of fucking worth of Doritos, bro.
Make it seem like, you know, this is a riot that was completely out of control.
It's
tragedy met with also like black unruly teenagers.
Of course, the multi-millionaire champagne socialist Amazon employee thinks it's just a $3 bag of Doritos. This dude is too dense to see that it's a whole lot more than that.
I don't get the Amazon employee part.
He has no idea what this guy put in to get these products to sell. It's more than just a $3 bag of Doritos to him. It's his livelihood. You got people who just got to this country who spent their last dimes on these food carts and supplying them, and these spoiled ass kids are ransacking them and destroying them. It's more than just a $3 bag of Doritos, but you have zero empathy, so I wouldn't expect you to actually be able to conceptualize how deep this shit really is for some people out here. People actually struggle and don't just sit around in a mansion all day making millions to bitch and talk shit about meaningless shit on the internet. This dude is so disconnected from reality. It's actually astonishing that anybody takes his goofy ass even a little bit serious. I've never seen such a spoiled shit. I mean, an elderly man got beat and robbed, and this dude is sitting there laughing about it. Like, what kind of sick, demented bullshit even is that, bro? Like, what is actually wrong with you?
Well, I mean, you are talking about someone who calls himself a socialist, but, you know, gives countless reasons for not donating the large amount of money, any of the large amount of money that he actually has, and again, calls himself a socialist, but goes out and buys an expensive ass car and house, and, you know, lives in luxury. But, you know, he calls himself a socialist, so that you're dealing with someone like that. He's kind of like, I don't want to say grifting, because I'm not really sure how to use the word, but he's kind of just projecting the image of a socialist, a political person, so that he can use that image to gain money, and of course, so he can use that image to gain money, which will allow him a certain type of lifestyle that he wants to live, and, you know, that's it. If he has to be fake to do that, then he'll do that, and a lot of people are okay with that. You know, I'm not. Absolutely not. I will never switch up who I am just for some money or some change or some shit like that. But, you know, there are people out there who are willing to do that. They will fake their entire lifestyle for the cash, for the almighty dollar. And, you know, Hassan seems to be great at that. So, I mean, not great at it, but he seems to be willing.
This dude does is pander and echo the same trending liberal takes that are trending on Twitter or whatever. Like, this dude has no actual real genuine stance or belief on anything. He's just gonna say whatever he thinks his audience wants to hear and double down on everything and keep fueling his cult. That's this man's only purpose. This is not a person who's for the people, and this is certainly not a person who's for the impoverished or for the minorities. This dude grew up rich and spoiled and is completely disconnected from reality. Look, there's a lot of people out here busting their ass for the bare minimum, and now these people can't go to work tomorrow because some negligent multimillionaire streamer who thinks life is a big ass game gathered their fans and had them run rampant through the streets, destroying people's cars and businesses in the process. Damn. Bunch of young ass kids with no concept of hard work who probably never worked a day in their life because they're fresh out their father's nutsack and mommy pays for everything for them. They just sit in a live stream all day with their face pressed against a computer screen spamming W's in the chat, and they're out here destroying the property of hardworking people just trying to get by, just trying to go to work and put food on the table in peace. They're shattering their windows and smashing up their cars. The thing is, a lot of people are deathly afraid to hold the black community accountable because they might get called racist if they do it, but it's
dude's making some points though, like shit, man. There's a lot of kids out there who don't really care, and who are just that brain rot has set in and is continuing to rot, and it's just they get that chance to, you know, be in the presence of one of their favorite streamers, if not their favorite streamer, then, and, you know, maybe get some free shit. So they just kind of go crazy and go wild with it, like, which hits harder when you really think about, damn, and for that event, like, Kai really didn't put any thought into it. And I think again, he had great intentions, and I think it would have been a great event if he had managed it right, or at least talked to someone else about it, right? Like, how can we do this? How can I make it safe for everybody? How, you know, if he had tried to actually organize it, it could have been a great event. But
only racist if you're racist. Calling this shit out is the opposite of racist. I critique what I see going on in the black community because I know black people are capable of so much more than what I'm seeing on a daily basis, both in person and on social media. I hate when I go to the gym in white areas and all the weights are put up, the machines get wiped down, and people actually take care of the machines, but at my primarily black gym, the weights are thrown around everywhere, there's trash on the floor and all over the entrance, machines are constantly breaking down because people are being too hard on them, and nobody wipes shit down and leaves machines soaked in sweat when they're finished with them. I mean, 2 people were just shot and killed right outside my gym in a 2-week span. That shit upsets me because I know black folks are capable of better. I shouldn't have to drive to white areas to get some decent service or avoid public drama. Most black folks I know in my area have to drive 40 minutes out just to go to a movie theater because there's so much bullshit at our local ones. There shouldn't be big ass lit up signs outside our shopping centers begging people to not steal from the stores. I hold black folks to the same standard I hold everybody else at because I view black folks as equal and want to see our community do better. It's folks like Hassan and all these other toxic radical lefties who treat black folks like they can do no wrong and they're capable of nothing better, constantly making excuses for them as if they're below them or lesser, like they're children or something. That is racist because you're implying that they're capable of nothing more. I don't want to see the black community keep degrading itself and destroying itself, so I don't make excuses for bullshit when I see it. I hold everybody to the same standard because that is equality. You'd be lying to yourself if you looked at modern African American culture and said it's a healthy culture that promotes excellence. I think the black youth in America is lost and they have horrible examples to follow. Kai Cenat being one of them, apparently. I believe in true equality. I don't think anybody should be celebrated for the color of their skin. I don't think anybody should receive special treatment or afforded excuses for their poor behavior because of the color of their skin. I don't think anybody is worth more than anybody else in any conceivable sense on the basis of skin color. Being born white or black is not worthy of praise or reward. It is simply the complexion you've been born with. It isn't an achievement. That is a true equal mindset. And this isn't an attack on black folks. It's a critique on a toxic culture that everybody is too afraid to critique. I don't feel guilty critiquing it because I know my intentions are good. I critique it because I want to see black people in America prosper to their full potential and stop degrading themselves. I want to see the black youth stop killing each other at absurd rates. I want to see more black kids pay attention in school and stop arguing and fighting with teachers and distracting their classmates who are actually trying to do something with their lives. I want to see the value for life itself within the black community increase. I want to see kids stop throwing up gang signs and joining gangs because they have no real father figure in their lives, so they are tempted to cling on to any sort of acceptance they can get from anybody, which comes in the form of a gang that terrorizes their own community. They join a gang because they're looking for family and loyalty, something that they can't even find within their own family nowadays. I think it's ridiculous seeing people who need to wear Black Lives.
God damn, yep. Man's hit the whole, you know, the nail on the coffin. Man's but some of them, they weren't seeking it. Some of them are just born into it, are born into being in gangs. They weren't seeking family and you know, whatever, family and familial relationships from the gangs. They were just kind of born into it and moved in and were expected to follow in the same way as the father. And that is an unimportant thing. Not unimportant. That's an unfortunate thing, because like even if they're born into it and their dad gets killed, they still strive to be like their dad instead of trying to realize that, you know, this isn't something that's like, gang life isn't something that's it's a false sense of respect, and it's not something to be proud about, I guess. But obviously, a lot of people are going to disagree with me on that one. But it's more likely to lead to only 2 places: death or jail. You might get lucky and get that third option of living through the bullshit and making it out. or living a complete life, but that depends on, you know, where you live and how you move while you're in that life. So, but that's not a large, there's a lot of people who aren't that lucky, feel me? But anyway,
Matter shirts as if we don't already know that shit. The only people who are treating black lives like they don't matter for the most part are other black folks, because
Kanye?
black folks are killing each other more than anybody else. So who is that message really for? I'm not afraid to point this shit out. I've lived it. I didn't learn about it from some outdated textbook in some liberal college somewhere. I lived it. I experienced it. This is my life. And I see the struggle and degeneracy every single day with my own two eyes through my entire black community and family. I won't be lectured by somebody who hasn't really been out here for real. Don't speak for me. I'll speak for myself. These other folks are scared to speak on this shit because they feel guilt, because I believe that deep down they are racist and they have a guilty conscience. So they have to compensate for their deep-rooted racism by being overly supported for black folks and excusing everything they do. And that applies to all races that do it. I don't feel that guilt, so I speak honestly and unapologetically.
I don't feel it either.
Speaking of unapologetically, I'm sick of black folks causing public disturbances and saying they're just unapologetically black. Stop associating acting like you have no home training with being black. Stop associating speaking proper, understandable English with speaking white. This type of shit.
See, that's what I said earlier. Oops, hold on. That's why I said earlier, like about people being called white just for speaking, just for, you know, talking properly. Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I meant earlier. It's just kind of weird that we have to get called being white or speaking white just because we speak properly and we don't always use ebonics, or we don't want to use ebonics. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I can use ebonics, but do I want to? You feel me? Like, do I want to use ebonics? I don't have to, and I shouldn't have to, in order for people in order to feel accepted by my own community. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's to me, it's not an important thing to be able to do that. It's just, and I don't like being I didn't like the feeling of that I was segregated because I spoke ebonics. You feel me? I didn't like the feeling of it all, and it's I feel sorry for other black people that have to go through that same kind of thing of feeling segregated because they, you know, were, I don't want to say brought up different, but they speak. I want to say intelligently. That feels like that means, you know, ebonics has no intelligence in it. That they speak properly. It shouldn't matter. But anyway, I'm going off that tangent and I'm losing focus of what I was trying to get to. But anyway.
Going on through the community is what sets us back. If a white woman clutches her bag when a group of black people walk by her, it's not because she's racist. It's because she probably saw 15 videos that morning alone of black folks robbing and beating people on social media.
Nah, she might be racist. There is a slight chance that she might be racist, but he's mostly right on what he's trying to say. How they probably saw, you know, on social media or the news, black people beating and robbing other people. So but I'd say there is still that chance that she could be racist.
It's not racism, it's pattern recognition. It's a survival instinct. I know black folks who clutch their bags and tuck their chains around other black folks in certain areas.
I'm Deebo. Who? Deebo.
I just tuck mine in.
Well, are they racist? People need to understand that their individual actions are reflective of their entire community, especially when they're a minority. Some people's only exposure to black people is from what they see on the internet. And if all you saw was this all the time, would you want to be around black people? Would you feel comfortable around them? If this was your only exposure and you knew no better? Don't cry racism when these store owners are breathing down your neck when you come into the shop, making sure you don't steal shit, because all they're doing is recognizing a pattern. I get followed in stores all the time, but I don't get mad about it because I understand it. Because I know a bunch of folks who look like me are the ones stealing from them. I know a bunch of folks that look like me are the ones they see on social media looting all these stores. They don't know me personally. All they know is that I belong to a community with a pattern of stealing shit and vandalizing stores. So I don't take it personally. Don't get mad when businesses start pulling out of black neighborhoods and force black people to drive 30, 40 minutes out to hit a grocery store. How are you going to defend black folks looting and destroying these stores, then get mad when the stores are pulling out? Don't get mad when businesses start refusing service to black folks. Where I used to live, we had a pizza spot that refused to deliver to black neighborhoods at night. Why? It's not because they were racist, it's because the pizza delivery guys were always getting robbed out there. Same shit with a Chinese spot we had. They had to shut down their whole restaurant because their son got shot and killed while delivering in one of those neighborhoods. This shit makes the entire community suffer. It's reflective on everybody, even those who aren't involved, because that is how communities work.
By the way, I forgot to mention that clip he showed earlier. What are we at? 22:43. This one, that's part of the riot that happened when due to Kai Cenat.
You are a representative of your community, so represent your community in a respectable manner. And that's what this video is. It's not a critique on black people. But
that's the thing though. Like a lot at the moment, and it's something that we need to fix. There is no sense, if to me, it feels like there is no sense of community in the black community. It's like crabs in a bucket. People are trying to get out they're on their own selves, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes, you know, we do hear about rappers that, like, you know, they'll go back to their hood and try to do something for them. You know what I'm saying? They make it out, but they go back and try to give back. That's what's up. I love it. But that's not always the case. I mean, then again, that's also a very few number of black people who are doing that. So the most of them have no sense of community. You know, they just have a sense of me and me only. It's just, so they don't, that's why they don't care that they make the community look bad with their actions. They don't give a shit. They don't care at all. It's about how they can live better for the next few minutes of their life if they have to rob someone or something like that, you know what I'm saying? Or if they have to shoot a Chinese delivery guy or rob a pizza guy. It's only about making their life better for that moment. They don't care about how that makes the community look. And that's something that we need to work on as a community.
A critique on the culture, a culture that belongs to me, a culture I grew up with, a culture that I love, but I'm willing to critique it because I love it. I think if you just make excuses for his negligence and don't hold him accountable for what his community went and did to the streets of New York City, then you're just letting shit slide, and nothing's gonna change that way. It's so unfortunate that a black influencer has this sort of influence, like influence to this magnitude over the youth, right? The black youth in this country. And they're doing nothing with it. They're just causing destruction with it. Like, that is so unfortunate. It's such a waste of influence. That doesn't mean be their parent and, you know, not be entertaining, but don't do this shit. You know what I mean? Like, set a good example, bro. This is not setting a good example. I just think it's unfortunate. It's crazy that the potential for getting so many people on track is just thrown away. I mean, you see there's obviously an issue with the black youth in this country, like with the looting and the violence and everything, bro. And instead of using your platform to try to help the youth, you use it to cause havoc in the streets and make a big joke and mockery of the shit that took place. All the people that can't go to work the next morning because your community destroyed all their shit. It's so unfortunate, honestly. It's so sad. Look at this, just going up, kicking the car, destroying it for no reason, checking the windows, seeing if there's anything of value inside, just breaking shit, being destructive for no reason, fighting in a mob, just going crazy. This shit is so sad, bro. Look at, like, bro, what even is this? And you got more of this same shit. You know, you got this store owner, you know, he's just chilling, doing his thing. And look, if he were to get up and follow them around, he would be the problem, right? Everyone would call him racist and shit, right? So look, they go putting some stuff on the counter, you know, like acting like they're gonna pay for shit. And he's chilling, you know, he's just being chill about it, just waiting. Yup. Just out the door with it. There it goes. That's it.
That's some shit.
That's crazy. And you have so many videos of shit like this going down. Like, look at this shit right here. Look at this. And they out with it. Just like that. Like, just imagine if somebody didn't live around any black folks and this is all they see on social media on a regular basis. This is their only exposure to black people they see on the internet. What do you think they're gonna think? Look at this shit. What do you think they're gonna think about them? You see this shit is all the time. It's crazy, bro. It really is. Like, this shit is so shameful. Same thing right here, an Asian family getting assaulted, likely for no reason. Even the camera person in this got beat up by these same girls. And she's over here asking the camera girl, stop recording without...
I knew it was going to get bad, so I took out my phone to document the incident. One of them saw me and tried to block the view. Didn't work.
My permission. Meanwhile, her friends are assaulting people on the train. So other people are trying to get involved and help, and look, they go assault the camera lady. In her face and shit, scaring her daughter. Look at this shit, bro. Look at this. And look, she sees her again, so they go attack her. Look at this, bro.
The internet is blowing up when...
See, so yeah, I get what he means now, more about pattern recognition. I don't know, from where I came from, like I said before, I used to live in Mississippi. Sometimes it was just racism, but I guess after seeing all this, it's a lot more pattern recognition versus racism. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking now it's like 90% pattern recognition, because as he said, look, imagine if someone grew up in an area with no black folks, and this is all they saw in the media. So when they actually do run across someone that's black, even it could be someone like me, it could be someone like him, or it could be someone who's like a lawyer, a scholar, like someone really educated. They're gonna think that, thanks to pattern recognition, that's likely to happen. These riots and stealing and all this other stuff is likely to happen.
A mob of 9 thieves.
Then you got more and more of it. Look at this.
Taking thousands of dollars worth of luxury bags, clothes, you name it, and sprint out the store while the security guard watches hopelessly. On the same day, a Jules was robbed. Over $1 million worth of stuff was taken. They say you get what you vote for. What do you think?
And this isn't cherry picking. This isn't narrative painting. I mean, this is the shit that's always trending. You don't see other groups doing this shit. I'm sorry, you just don't. And what?
Well, I can at least proudly say, and this is a true story, because I did grow up, well, even when I lived in Mississippi, I did live around, I did live in a neighborhood that was adjacent to like the hood, so I wasn't completely surrounded by black people, but I was chilling with some white people most of the time. But we went, me and two of my friends, they were white, we went bowling. And when we were done bowling, the guy at the counter wasn't there, because, you know, for bowling you usually pay when you're done. You know, obviously you grab your shoes and everything like that, and then you bowl a couple of whatever rounds or whatever, and then you pay when you're done. But the guy wasn't there, so we all left. I didn't feel right about it, so the next day I came in and I paid for our games that the three of us played. out of my own by myself, and you know, I never told them about it. But so I can at least say that, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, this is a true story. I was with 2 other white people, and they weren't like, you know, hood influenced white people. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of them ended up in the army. One of them is like a military police right now. But like when we were kids, like I don't even talk to him anymore. Matter of fact, one of the one who's a military police now got pissed at me because I was saying, you know, because I was talking bad about police during the whole George Floyd incident and everything like that. So I don't even talk to them no more. But when we were kids, I with two white friends, we didn't pay for we pretty much stole, didn't pay for our bowling rounds. I came back by myself the next day, paid for that shit, and yeah, that was it. So I can say that other people have done that. You know what I'm saying? We're not the only race, obviously, but like, yeah.
Once again, I'll say it's not black people. Black people are not the problem. You can't blame black people. It's the culture that is deteriorating the community, making them act like this, making them think that this shit is okay. This is black entitlement. You can't go on about white privilege and white entitlement and shit when you got people doing this shit and facing no repercussions for it, feeling entitled to this shit, considering it reparations and shit. You can't justify it and say it's not black entitlement, because if anyone else did this, you wouldn't try to justify it. Listen to this.
Also, like with him saying, you know, black entitlement, that also comes with something called like the race card, where people will play their race. Sometimes black people will play their race card. They're like, oh, it's because I'm black, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. And I think that ties in with the black entitlement. Like, yeah, I can't do this, or you're not gonna let me do this because I'm black, isn't it? And it's like, no, that's not why. And it's like, all right, well, and then they'll kind of use that to try and get what it is they were trying to get to begin with.
Even hear the girl saying, y'all are bugging, we can't have shit. This girl's probably what, like 16, 17. Even she sees what's going on, bro. She sees the people in her own community destroying shit for no reason, and she's saying this is why we can't have shit. You got more of this. There's more of this going on.
At least she's recognizing it.
Shit is crazy. Like getting in a whole ass war with the people behind the counter, smashing shit, breaking shit, throwing shit. You don't see Asian people doing this shit out here, bro. I'm sorry, you just don't. Like, this shit is crazy. Look at this. Wow, bro. That's crazy. Look, trying to steal shit.
I don't know. Do Asian people do this? I mean, maybe if they've been influenced by like our culture due to everything they see on the media, they think some people might think, you know, black people are cool, and so they, you know, it's like a disease that spreads, or has been spreading over time. But now I'm starting to think that when I lived back in Mississippi, and I went to a gas station at night, I got out. I don't know if this is this part. I don't know if it was racism or pattern recognition. I'm still thinking it's mostly racism on this one, but when I pull into a gas station, I started to get gas. Right, I had the nozzle on my car open. I had the gas thing, whatever, in my hand, getting ready to like put the gas in, or put the thing in the tank or into my car and start filling gas. Like, I was actively getting gas when 2 old white ladies came out. They looked at me. They came out of the gas station. They looked at me. They went back into the gas station and then came back out with shotguns. That had to be racism, right? And not pattern recognition, because I wasn't going towards the actual store of the gas station. I was actively, you know, getting ready to fill up my tank. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't going over to them. I was actively staying away from them and filling up my tank at that little gas spot. So that part had to be racism in my opinion. But like, I can see why it could be pattern recognition if I was going towards them. If I was going, you know, late at night going towards their store, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, then I can see pattern recognition, but that part had to be racism.
That's wild, bro. That's wild. They think this shit's hilarious too, all laughing and shit.
Could not even see.
Look at this, bro.
Oh, they taking it.
Yeah, they think this shit is hilarious.
Bro, that shit's embarrassing, man. This is why I said in my other video about embarrassed to be black. Like this shit right here is embarrassing because from the outside looking in, people are going to associate that with all black people, and that shit's embarrassing. Like I even left Georgia because I was I went to Georgia for college, but that's besides the point. But when I was in Georgia and I moved out towards like the kind of like away from Atlanta, kind of more towards like the rural, I have a problem saying that word, rural areas. And I would like go into the store and get my groceries and come back. I would get tired of people looking at me, you know, in some type of way, like I was going to do something to them. Like I was going to harass them or, you know, rob them, or, you know what I'm saying? And it was like a mostly white area. So I got tired of going out and being looked at a certain way. So I left, you know what I'm saying? But it's again because of what they see on social media, of what we're portrayed as. And this is not just being, what he's showing right now, all the black riots and stuff, that is a product of what we've been portrayed as for many years, for many decades. So yeah, due to what we've been portrayed as, I'm tired of being judged by that. And so I had to get out of Georgia for a while. Not for a while, I just left Georgia. I don't think I'm gonna go back. I might go back to visit because there are some people I know over there, but that's about it. But yeah, it's like, that shit's embarrassing. From the outside looking in, people are going to see what you're doing and associate that with the entire community. You know what I'm saying? Just like with weebs who watch anime and don't watch, like, who only watch anime but don't like look into the actual culture of Japan. They expect to go to Japan and see everything in subtitles kind of vibe. You feel me? They expect to go to Japan and see everybody acting a certain way when that's not how Japan actually is. You have to actually like look into the culture of Japan and what things are like over there. But I don't even think we have a good representation of that as a black community. We don't really have something that like you can look at and see the actual culture. Like if we showed our cookouts on, you know, more often, if we just showed the better parts of our culture of the black community, you know what I'm saying? But then that would still, people have to be willing to look into that before they actually see that. You feel me? So if they don't, and all they see is what they see on social media or in mainstream media, then, you know, we're kind of screwed. But I digress. I've been rambling a lot, and I'm pretty sure I barely got my point across, but I hope I got it all across. But anyway.
And this little kids, bro, like these are little kids.
I think they're registered. This nigga think they're He stole the cash.
Wow, bro. But if McDonald's were to come out and pull their restaurants out of black neighborhoods and shit, oh, then they'd be racist. Then there would be a problem, right? Meanwhile, you have shit like this going on. Once again, this dude just came in here with a whole ass trash can and just dumping shit. Look at this.
Ain't nothing you can do, man, until police come in.
Even but okay, in this video I can't show it, but the two people that work there end up whooping his ass. But
hell,
I mean,
yeah.
like, look at this dude though, bro. Look at this dude.
Ain't nothing you can do, man.
And you got more anarchy from the Kai Cenat situation. Look at this shit, bro.
Oh my god.
That's crazy.
Popular 80-year-old
Once again, look.
neighborhood ice cream
vendor getting robbed
after being robbed in East Oakland. It happened this week in the Fruitvale neighborhood. He says the armed robbers took $120.
Look at this shit, bro.
So far, no arrests. A grassroots effort has already generated thousands of dollars online.
This dude got robbed for selling ice cream in their community. But here's the thing is, if he were to not do that, if someone asked, why don't you sell in these communities? And he were to say, oh, I don't want to sell to black people or around black people because I'm more likely to be assaulted and robbed, they'd call him racist. And people want to complain, oh, well, the ice cream truck don't want to come around these black neighborhoods. What's up with that shit? That sounds a little racist to me. It's not racist, bro. Look what's going on, bro. How is it racist? Look at what the community is doing to itself, bro. Why would anybody risk it? It's pattern recognition. It's not racism.
Bro, why is there a comment? Like, why is one of these... Hold on, let me see if I can like make it bigger on OBS right quick. This guy, like, this is like a bunch of fucking like monkeys running around. Why is it? Yo, that's what this looks like. Looks like this somebody just posted a comment, a bunch of like, hold on, look, go back. Looks like it's just a bunch of like monkeys running around.
But here's the thing is, if he were to not do that,
yo. Hold on. Now I'm trying to figure out how to get back. But hold on. Is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. Oh boy. All right. There we go. Okay. Yep. Now what I was trying to do.
if someone asks, why don't you sell in these communities? And he were,
you see what I'm saying? It's just a bunch of, that's just like a bunch of monkeys, bro. That's what the. See, that's another reason why I say that shit's embarrassing when people look at us from the outside in and this is all they see. You know what I'm saying? Like, no wonder there are people out there who are embarrassed to be black.
To say, oh, I don't want to sell to black people or around black people because I'm more likely to be assaulted and robbed, they'd call them racist. And people want to complain, oh, well, the ice cream truck don't want to come around these black neighborhoods. What's up with that shit? That sounds a little racist to me. It's not racist, bro. Look what's going on, bro. How is it racist? Look at what the community is doing to itself, bro. Why would anybody risk it? It's pattern.
But to be fair, what he's showing is a lot of pattern recognition. However, there are other events that are out there that are just based off straight up racism. You know what I'm saying? You can't say the KKK is the KKK because of pattern recognition. You know what I'm saying? And being in Mississippi, like, yeah, it's not all pattern recognition. I see how a lot of it could be, but there's still some shit that's based just straight up based off racism.
Recognition.
Like me going, told the story in my last video about embarrassed to be black, but I went to a school that was a predominantly white people. I was in band. My band teacher was an older lady. She got the entire class except for one other student who happened to be a black female to call me Babu as a nickname. That's straight up racism. That's not pattern recognition. So
it's not racism.
Shoplifting
Once again,
has been at an all-time high.
all the culprits,
People are
bro.
walking into retail stores,
Pattern
ripping off all of the
recognition.
clothing tags
That's
and
all
simply
this shit
walking out
is.
with them. This is allegedly happening at Nike, Target, and even Ross. People have been going into grocery stores like Walmart and are simply eating food off the shelves without paying for it. There are even videos of people licking the ice cream located in the freezer section and simply putting it back for the next person to buy.
And this right here is what I mean when I say African American culture does not promote excellence and it promotes degeneracy. Because look,
that I agree with. And this clip right here, this shit is fucking I'm trying not to cuss as much anymore. I'm working on it, but I said that's just part of who I am. I cuss a lot. But this right here, this clip right here, he's getting ready to show, that's terrible. I think she's in France, but
look at this shit right here.
I'm trying to get my coochie stretched. I'm trying to get my coochie stretched and eat a nigga ass. Eat a nigga ass with me.
I said France and it says right there London. Oh my god. I know it was another country. I just didn't like read the text. I should have just read the text. That's embarrassing.
Eating niggas ass today in London. Period, baby. I'm trying to get this coochie stretched.
They think this shit is cute because they made a whole career off acting like this over in America. And they're bringing this bullshit over to London. Imagine the old white folks right there who probably don't really get too much contact with black folks, black Americans, etc. What kind of impression do you think these ladies just left them with? As they're walking the street screaming, I'm trying to get my coochie scratched, I'm trying to eat ass. Like, what kind of impression do you think you're leaving everybody with?
Again, they don't care about the impression that they're leaving people with. They don't care about the impression of the black community that they're leaving people with, because they're all about themselves. And right now they're just trying to act a fool for social media, because for the clout and for the money and for the attention. And those old white lady are probably thinking that they're gonna go back to their family and say, wow, I saw a black person today and they were acting like this. Those people, what do you mean those people? Those people are crazy.
On your people. And this is what I mean when I say, like, be a representative for your community. Represent your community well, because they're not just going to look at you and think you're crazy. They're going to look at your whole community and think everyone in your community is crazy. Once again, more bullshit for no reason. Look at this shit. He's gonna go in there and he's gonna release a big ass rat in the restaurant. Once again, just causing trouble, creating havoc for no reason. Look at this shit. Like, why, bro? Why? Just for no reason, bro. Once again, you see these news headlines all the time on social media. Just imagine someone who doesn't.
Two Florida men is wanted. 2 Florida men are wanted for robbing. Why are they sentencing robbing? Robbing a Loomis guard at Bank of America in Miami, getting away with tons of cash.
Live around black people who actually can't see that not all black people are like this. This is their only exposure to them. Imagine the type of impression that will be left with them. And once again, right here, we have an Uber driver with a black passenger, and he ends up getting beat up and put at gunpoint. And I think they even tried to pull the trigger on him, but it jammed. But you see, like, if he were to turn a black customer down on the app or whatever, oh, he's racist, right? But then when you have shit like this going on, can you blame them?
Seriously? Get the fuck out.
Yo, wash your fucking mouth.
Okay, well, look, I have no problem.
I gotta pause it because it really escalates and I can't show it on YouTube, but they hit him in the face, they put a gun to him, and it just gets way out of hand for no reason. Right here, this actually happened where I live, which is hilarious, but both parties are probably in the wrong here a little bit, because you shouldn't be touching people's cars. But
angry couple go off on guy for asking them to exit the bike lane.
But you also shouldn't be parked in the bike lane. The thing is, though, it didn't need to escalate to the extent to which this situation escalates. Look at this.
Please move. You're in the bike lane and blocking the sidewalk here. Yeah, you're blocking the curb cut here.
Why are you touching my car, bro?
Because you're in my space, public space.
Don't touch my car, bro.
Okay, move then.
Don't touch my car, bro.
Okay.
Bro, what the fuck are you doing, bro?
Please move.
Want you to post
He said okay.
No, I'm trying to.
Don't touch my car no more then, bro. You tripping like shit, nigga. What the fuck is wrong with you, boy? I bet you won't touch it no more. I bet you won't touch it no more. Yeah, I know.
That's just instigating. Like, the dude could have said, I'm sorry for touching your car, but you are parked in the bike lane. And the other guy could be said, okay, just, don't touch my car and shit. But, it is what it is. It already happened. And get out the bike lane and make shit right. Both parties could have gone about their way, but instead, it's instigation. It's the constant pressing of it. Don't touch my car. Don't touch my car. I bet you won't do it again. I bet you won't do, like, for no reason. And not all black people act like this, but when this is the type of shit you see on social media, it's gonna leave people with a certain impression. Look at this.
I bet you won't touch it no more.
It's annoying, but don't ride up on my shit and touch it.
You're in public space.
Nigga, you just rolled up and did like
because
this.
it's the bike
We're
lane.
working. The fuck you gonna do about it?
I don't really care.
The fuck you gonna do about it?
What, you want to
Real
get my
loud, bro.
face? What?
Nigga, you touched my car, right? Get the fuck. Move. Just come on.
And then I don't know if he actually got a strap out the back seat. It looks more like he acted like he got a strap out the back seat, but he acts like he put some shit in his pants or whatever to try to scare the dude like he's about to shoot him or something. But it's just like, why did it have to get this far, bro? It's an ego thing. Like, why couldn't y'all just have your first interaction, apologize, and drive out the bike lane? Why do you feel entitled to that spot? Why does it have to be an ego thing? Why does it have to be an aggression thing? Why does it have to escalate to you pretending like you're about to kill him in broad daylight? Why did it need to get that far for no reason?
Because it's not.
Man, I don't give a fuck, nigga. I'm working.
Don't come up
I
with
don't
my
care.
Man, nigga.
I don't care.
Bitch ass
Niggas
nigga.
think just because they white, they can touch people's shit.
No.
And once again, it's just
here we
it's
go.
gotta be made a race thing. No, it's how would he know? Like, he didn't know who was in the car. Obviously, he didn't know what color you were when you were in the car, bro. There's no way he could have knew that. It's always it's so funny, bro. I remember I was living in this apartment complex and there was a shootout in the middle of the hall, bullets everywhere all throughout the hall. Someone got hit, there's blood all over the floor, and I was right there. And the police pull up, right after it's all said and done, after the fucking gun smoke clears out. The police pull up and they start, asking questions and cuffing people. And this dude, he was a black man, started freaking out and shit, losing his mind because they were putting his hands on him and trying to put cuffs on him. And he kept screaming, "Oh, it's because I'm black. It's because I'm black. You doing this because I'm black." Like,
no, nigga.
It's always, bro, you knew you were in the wrong, bro. There's bullet holes in the walls, bro. There's blood on the floor. Okay, like, and they're still saying, "Oh, this is because I'm black." Like, no, it's not because you're black. It's because there's bullet holes in the wall, bro. But everyone has to make it a race thing. Even when people know they're in the wrong, they know they can fall back on the race card because that is entitlement. That is privilege. Once again, this is just the type of shit you see going on social media. Thinking this shit's hilarious. Because he kicked over a porta potty with a girl in it. And obviously all the shit and piss and other stuff in the porta potty got all over the girl who was inside of it. And they think it's hilarious. Like, it's just, like I said, it's the value for human life in the black community right now, because of the culture, is so low. Like, no one cares about anything. It's cool to not give a shit about anybody or anything. This girl's in here screaming because she's covered in other people's shit and piss, and they're over here laughing about it like it's funny. I don't understand, bro. I really don't understand what is. And yeah, it's in DC too. It's in or this may be PG, but I know it's in the DMV area because he said Mo, and that's some slang out here. So I know he's around my area. But and this is what I mean by, like, I see this shit with my own two eyes, bro. I live here. Like, 2 of these videos are from where I live, bro. Like, I really see this shit go down. Like, I know what I'm talking about. This is my own experience I'm speaking on. I'm not speaking for everybody. I'm speaking from my own experience. This is what I'm seeing. And look, she's covered, and they think this shit's hilarious. This shit is not funny, bro. And this right here is what I mean by just the degeneracy, the self-degradation.
Bro, what the fuck? Alright, man.
Like, look at this shit, bro. I'm sorry, but it's just self-degradation. It's no self-respect, and this is what gets people, clicks and views and money, is acting like this in the black community. Like, this is what they have to do to get big, get popular, get some money, bro. Like, it's sad. It's sad that people have to stoop this low and degrade themselves to this extent to get the viewership and get shit. You don't see white people needing to do shit like this. You don't see Asian people needing to do shit like this for attention, views, money, etc. This shit is sad, bro. Like, look at this. Swing.
Bro, I guarantee you she watches, what's her name? I keep forgetting what the rapper that was, but there was a female rapper that had some pregnant chick in her video twerking for the camera.
Around a shirt that says "Free Somebody."
So I guarantee you she watches that female rapper.
Buddy swinging around blue bandanas, like, it's so sad, bro. It's so pathetic and sad. This right here is a video. Obviously, you see this dude's getting knocked out in the middle of some restaurant somewhere, And it's just like, once again, it's pattern recognition. It's the same shit. You see, like, I'm sorry, but you're not seeing Asians and Hispanic. You're not seeing videos of them beating each other up in the lobby of an Applebee's, bro. Like, you're not, to the extent that we're seeing it on one side, we're not seeing it on the other sides. And that's the problem. That's the issue I have. I don't like seeing my own community constantly be in the spotlight for doing dumb shit like this. Like, it's annoying to me. It's embarrassing. They go to Ghana and start twerking on a slave dungeon where people have died, saying it's for their ancestors. Do you know how disrespectful that is? Like, oh my god, it's so bad. Like once again, it's no self-respect. It's self-degradation, all for some clicks and some views. Like, bro, look at this shit.
That's dumb.
That's wild, bro. And they're laughing and mocking it for the ancestors. Like, bro, what are you talking about, bro? That is so disrespectful. But that's the thing. It's a cultural thing. Because African American culture does not promote respect. It doesn't promote it. So of course they're not gonna come over there with some respect. They're over here twerking and shit, walking the streets, screaming, trying to get my coochie scratched and shit. Like, bro, because this is what the culture promotes. You can't say this is a culture that promotes excellence when you see the product of the culture on full display right here. You see it, it's everywhere, bro, and it's terrible. I hate to see it. But that's the thing, is not all black people are involved to the culture in this extent. The majority of black people I know personally hate this type of behavior. They think it's ratchet, they think it's disgusting, they don't want to be around it, they avoid it at all costs. And this is what I'm trying to tell people who don't know a lot of black people. Bro, despite what you see on social media, not all black people act like this. But the issue is, this is what you see pervasive throughout social media. You see it everywhere, and that's the problem. This is a video I find very interesting, and I saw some people calling it racist, but you got this black guy, he goes to the Philippines, and a bunch of the Filipino kids come up to him, they start throwing gang signs and calling him the N-word and stuff.
Oh my
and
God.
people think that's racist or whatever, but here's the thing is, this is exactly what I mean by the culture promotes this stuff. You know, a lot of people are out here,
and this is what I mean by, from the outside looking in, people are going to have an opinion of you. People are going to see what they see on TV, how we're portrayed in social media, how we're portrayed in mainstream media, and they're gonna be like, oh, that person's black. I bet they do this, this, and this. Let me try to relate to them by doing the same thing that I saw on mainstream media or I saw on social media to them. Let me try to get close with them. Let me try to, you know, befriend them by doing that same BS that I saw on mainstream media, that I saw on social media. Let me do that and try to get in good with them. This is what I mean by from the outside looking in. That shit's embarrassing.
they're saying it's racist that they're doing this shit. But the thing is, this is the culture. This is what other people who are not exposed to black people, this is what they see. This is what the culture promotes in the media and on social media, etc., etc. This is what they see. And music, they hear it, like, they think that black people want to be treated like this. They think that when a black person goes by, that they, you know, the gang signs and calling them the N-word, like, they think that shit's cool because it's promoted as cool in the culture. That's all they see. So that's their only impression of black people, is throwing up gang signs and doing all this other ratchet bullshit. Like, look right here, racism at its innocent form. Bro, how is it racism if this is what the culture is promoting? I bet this same person that's saying that this is racism is also, with all this same music, rapping along, throwing up the same gang signs, knows all the words to all these songs, rapping about killing black people, doing drugs, da-da-da. Like, this is probably the same person on all this same shit. How can you blame them if they're just participating in what the culture is putting out there? This is the impression.
No. The culture isn't putting it out there. Yes, it may seem like that now, but that's not how it was. Like I said before, there was due to white influence and wanting to fill prisons so that white owners of record labels could get paid more money. They skewed, curved the progression of our music and our media into mostly rapping about, guns and violence and, criminal activities, so that they can get more people in prison, so that they can get paid more. So that's not exactly the culture's fault. It's not exactly the culture putting it out there. I'm sure even nowadays, some rappers are being pressured to put more music out there that, you know, that puts down the black community, that's degrading to the black community. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless it's an independent rapper, then record labels, like I'm thinking like Atlantic Records is gotta be one of them, right? There's some record labels out there that are telling their rappers to, hey, put music out that's like this, music out like that, it's like that. So it's not exactly the culture in general that's doing it, but it is if you go a little further back, you'll see why the culture acts as it is. And yeah, when it comes to at least social media, that's you can say that, you know, it's the culture, but still, again, it traces back to when things in our culture started to change and why they started to change, because of, you know, white influence, outside influence that forced our community to change. But anyway, I hope I got I hope I got my point across.
That they're leaving on people. Like, just look.
Hey. What up, boy? Global CZ, Global CZ.
They're telling him to crip walk their shit.
You crip walk. Sturdy. You get sturdy.
And that's the thing, is like, do they look?
That part right there, the sturdy. I don't know where that came from. The only place that I know that came from was Kai Cenat. I haven't heard about quote unquote get sturdy until I heard Kai Cenat say it.
Hey, you want to get sturdy?
Of course, I want to get sturdy.
Hey,
We can get sturdy.
I get sturdy.
So I don't know if that kid got that from anyone else, or if he got it from Kai.
You crip walk. Sturdy. You get sturdy.
And that's the thing, is like, do they look like racist kids? Like, they're not racist. They're innocent, bro. They're just playing around. Like, they think this is okay. That's the thing, because the culture promotes this as being okay on the mainstream. So they have no idea this shit is offensive. They think this guy likes this shit. They think he was gonna think it's cool and be accepted. You know, they think they're doing something good, something positive by doing this. But really it's not, because that part of the culture isn't reflective on all black people, because not all black people are involved with the culture to that extent, because that is an extreme.
I don't care what people don't like. They got mad when I said I don't support Black Lives Matter, because who they matter to? We kill each other all day. We talk about each other all day. You know who talk about me the most on the internet? Niggas. Niggas. You know what's worse than a nigga? 2 of them. Make you don't want to be a nigga. Yeah, man, it don't be nobody else talking about me. It be niggas, my own people that look like me. Talk about me like a dog. Kick me when I'm down. Can't wait. look at Gates. Went to jail, they celebrated, clapped their hands, it was happy. I don't look at color and see race no more. I see real and fake, that's it. Even when I see police, what's up, big man? Don't work too hard.
Well, you gonna say he's racist for this shit? He's not racist for it. Bro, this is facts. It's sad what he's saying, but it's true. That's the thing. It's true. This is very sad, but once again, you see these Asian women getting attacked, and you know that Stop Asian Hate movement was real big until everyone saw the videos of who was attacking all the Asian people, and when they saw that it was all black people doing it, then that Stop Asian Hate shit went right out the window and just got radio silent. And this guy on YouTube, I'll find the video and link it somewhere, but he made a whole video about it, about how nobody really takes the Stop Asian Hate serious, and no one is actually acknowledging the issue that is black people attacking all these Asian people. And he points out the hypocrisy and points out that, like, why did it get silent when everyone found out who was doing it? Why can't we call it out for what it is? Why can't we address this shit? Not addressing this shit and being quiet about it is why it's so pervasive. It's why this keeps happening. It festers and it grows. But yeah, I can't show this video because there's people being physically assaulted in it, but it's some black girls just beating the shit and robbing these Asian women in the middle of the street. I think this shit is hilarious right here.
Whiteness is a cult, and they will always come to the defense of their cult members.
The
right.
cult?
White people are the ones who are wearing t-shirts about how proud they are about their race.
White people are the ones rallying in the streets about their race. White people are the ones race-swapping characters even though it's completely historically inaccurate. White people are the ones getting their own categories on Uber Eats, Hulu, and Netflix. And of course it was in the name of white people that we got over $2 billion in damages here in the United States due to the riots that happened in 2020. Not to mention the 20+ people who died in the mostly peaceful protests. All that, and when you're a white person who tries to talk about it and call them out and say that they're engaged in groupthink and suppressing skepticism, they tell you you're not a white person anymore. That lady's right. Whiteness is the cult.
And she addresses a lot of the points I just made. You know what I mean? She addresses all those same points about, you know, the sheep mentality, the disownment of members of the community if they think differently, et cetera, et cetera. Like she hits the nail on the head here. And you don't have to like what she's affiliated with, because this is a popular content creator right here. And I know a lot of people maybe feel personally on her political views or her as a person. But the point she's making still stands whether you like her or not. That this shit, what she's saying right here, is totally true. And this lady right here with this mentality, this is what breeds the entitlement within the black community. It's this shit right here. Once again, it's a cultural thing, not a race thing. And I'm gonna show you with this video right here.
African people stay here, I have Jamaican people stay here, I have white people stay here, I have Spanish people stay here, and I have black Americans stay here. I'm not saying not all black Americans are bad, but the ones that came to my place have been nothing but problem. Only 2 good ones came here, all of them. Fight late at night, not with me, with each other. They're disrespectful, they're entitled, they're unappreciative. And it is that way because America has spoiled them and give them so much free shit. Where they could come to Jamaica and get the same free shit out here and be nasty about it. I'm not saying all of you are like that, but because of that, I'm not risking my health and my happiness for people. No short-term stay. No short-term stay. It's not gonna happen here. I'd rather eat salt and banana and let goats and cows live into my houses than I have people come here and stress me. I will not hate my business because of customers. A lot of business people are miserable because of some kind of customer. Not this place. I don't want my place is drama free.
That's crazy, bro. She's saying she's saying everything I'm saying. Everything. What, you gonna call her racist? No, it's true. 100%. It's true. It's not a race thing. It's a cultural thing. I mean, it's an issue with the culture that's not allowed to get addressed. And people were attacking her for this video. This was a very controversial video at the time, but I mean, how are you gonna deny her experience? This is her personal experience. It's pattern recognition. She notices that the people she rents her house to that are white, African, Jamaican, etc., they take care of her house. But when she rents it out to African Americans, they fight in it, they cause a mess, etc., etc. It's a bunch of drama and bullshit she doesn't want to deal with. She says they're entitled and a bunch of other things. I mean, it's just pattern recognition. So now she doesn't want to rent her house to African Americans. She's going to pick and choose now to not rent it to them. Just like these businesses pick and choose to pull their places out of African American communities or not establish businesses in those communities in the first place, or these store owners follow around African American customers to make sure they don't steal shit, bro. It's pattern recognition. It's an issue with the culture, not the race, the culture. Look at this video right here. This dude trying to steal shit and this African security guard gets on him over it.
Get away from here. Don't get away from here. Get the fuck away from here. Beast. I'm gonna walk and make money.
He said, he called him a beast and said to go work and make money. And these comments are all correct. And I've already mentioned it. Africans are not very fond of African Americans, like this guy said right here. Like, if you want to hear some of the most wild bullshit get said about African Americans, listen to an African person talk about them. Like, it's really bad. And obviously not all of them, but there's definitely some animosity and tension between the two, and that further proves my point that it's not a race thing, it's a cultural thing. Like right here, this guy says actual Africans aren't very fond of black Americans. I don't think people have realized this yet. And the thing is, like, if you know some African people personally, like I grew up with a lot of African people, and I've heard like their parents and stuff, how they speak about African Americans, and I've heard some crazy shit. Yeah, it's pretty bad, but it's different cultures, man.
Bro, like, it might be, I wouldn't be surprised if it, I don't know if I want to say this, I don't want to say this in the video because I might do it myself, but I wouldn't be surprised if someone made a shirt that says, I'm one of the good ones. You know, just like that from the one, like, I got that from the one guy last guy reacted to. when in the embarrassed to be black reaction video that I did.
Okay, being afraid, that's not, I wouldn't really count that as a trend then. That's just, I would
Right,
say
that's just
no,
fear.
I'm black. I'm one of the good ones.
That guy said, hey, I'm one of the good ones. So I wouldn't be surprised if that became a shirt. It just said black, but I'm one of the good ones. I wouldn't be surprised if that was a thing. If it's, I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be even less surprised if it was already a thing.
They don't put up with that shit over there, bro. They don't put up with that shit. So when they see the entitlement and this bullshit behavior go on over here and everyone just lets it slide, they don't rock with that. Hey, this shit is crazy, bro. Like, what the?
Okay, so this is what I mean by issues with our culture, right? We should be coming out of the woodworks to condemn this, but I will condemn this, and black people will still get mad at me for condemning this behavior. They will call me a race traitor. You don't care about your race. How are you siding with the other side? These girls are stealing from Walmart and eating it and bragging about it.
Once again, with the disownment for calling some shit out or thinking differently.
You're worried about what side I'm on. There shouldn't be any side. It should be, this is wrong, this needs to stop, let's get that fixed. That's what it should be. And again, when it comes to our culture, look what they're teaching the young. Yeah, it's okay, girl, let's just walk into Walmart, steal what we want and eat it whenever. They're not gonna stop us, let's just go do that, knowing it's wrong. Or do they know it's wrong?
And they know no white person can speak out about it, because then you can call them racist, and that's a terrible label to have attached to yourself. So no white people are gonna even risk getting that label attached to themselves. So it's up to black people to call this shit out, you know, to call members of their own community out for this bullshit. But once again, they're afraid of getting disowned by their own community, so a lot of people stay quiet about it.
There needs to be something to disincentivize this behavior, because right now there's nothing that I'm seeing. And clearly it doesn't seem like their parents are doing anything.
100%. And that's why I say it's entitlement. They feel entitled. It's being spoiled. It's entitlement. And they know there's going to be no punishment behind this. That's why they're over here recording it and posting it on social media, because nothing's going to happen. It's black privilege.
I just feel like black lives don't matter because they don't matter with themselves because they're killing money.
Did she say that? Did she see Kevin Gates say that? So now she's saying that herself? Did she see the Kevin Gates interview? Or was this like after? Or this like before the Kevin Gates interview? And or did she not see it at all? And they're just saying like the same thought space.
Another. And also, aside of the media, it's like being perpetrated as the black community is doing this and this and this, and like the Democrats are helping the black community, but really they're not helping the black community. So it's the media that puts out what they want to be put out. It's not necessarily Black Lives Matter or white lives that matter. No, all lives what matter. It's all lives that matter. And when people say that, they get offended, but it's true, because at the end of the day, our lives do matter. It doesn't matter if you die that you're black, you're white, you're whatever. That doesn't matter. It's just us as humans is what matters. And I think that the black community, when you separate yourself from that whole Black Lives Matter, now you're no longer black, or you're no longer a part of the crew, and that's not true. You're just saying, yes, you do matter, but you just matter as a person and not as a color.
Once again, she spoke to almost everything I've already said in this video. And she also mentions about how Democrats kind of convince minorities that they're actually for them, and, you know, support us and we'll have you back. You know what I mean? We're gonna fix everything, and nothing ever comes of it. She just said everything I've already said, 100%, and it's true. 100%. This is entitlement right here. This is entitlement. She pepper sprayed the teacher for taking her phone. Bro, you gonna tell me that this is not some spoiled bullshit, some crazy entitlement right now? Is that what you're really trying to sit here and tell me? Like,
bro, that shit is crazy.
There's a talk.
That is crazy, but he's right. I don't know if, I think he titled the Kai Cenat as dangerous just simply because, you know, it would get more views and clicks if he titled it that, which I'm not faulting him for it, but in my opinion, this video has like what, it's like 2% talks about Kai, but I get what he's trying to say. I mean, obviously, like some of this, you saw me agree with a lot of things he was saying, and the only, I guess the only other thing I want to say is, if we want to see a change in the black community, not only will that take time and commitment from members of the Black community, but that's also going to take a lot of work to replace those that are in the mainstream media and those are in the eyes, the main eyes of the social media. It's going to take a lot of work and effort to replace them and get people of positive perspectives, positive outlooks, positive influence into their position. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kai Cenat does have some positive things in his streams and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Every now and then. But same time, like the other guy said, there's a lot of just, you know, well, there's a lot of just dancing around, talking to thoughts. I'm not gonna lie, talking to thoughts and just trying to entertain, but not like in a extremely positive light. You feel me? Because otherwise, you know, people wouldn't really watch them. Because that's not what's expected of someone who's Black. You know what I'm saying? But I get what this guy is saying, and I agree with a lot of it. But I also think that he says it's pattern recognition based off, you know, where the area he's from, what he's seen, what he's been through. Whereas I can say that, yeah, a lot of it is pattern recognition, but there's still a lot of racism out there as well. It just depends. In reality, it just depends on where you're from, where you grow up at, and stuff like that. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the video. I don't count myself as like a Blacktivist or Black activist or anything like that, but I wanted to react to this video because I saw it, and, you know, the video said Kai Cenat is dangerous. I was like, how is he dangerous? And I didn't know it was gonna be about all that, but I enjoyed it myself anyway. If you have anything to share or to teach, go ahead and drop it in the comments below, what your thoughts are and all that. But yeah, as always, link to this guy's video and link to this guy's channel will both be in the description below, so be sure to check him out. And yeah, that's all I got. So as always, don't forget to do those 3 things I like to ask you to do, and like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell for more videos. Yeah. And you know what it is after that, in case I don't see you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Peace. Much love to you.